Should you actually throw away all of the clothes that no longer suit you? And do you need to wear all of the colors in your color season? In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 7 mistakes that I made after having my color analysis done last year and what I would do instead if I could start from scratch. So if you want to avoid spending tons of money on clothes you never end up wearing, then keep on watching. If you've watched part 1 and part 2 of my color analysis series, you know already what my color season is, which is winter cool. And you know also how my wardrobe has changed over the past year. So let's dive straight into mistake number 1, which is being closed off to colors that you don't really like. So one of the things I want to make as a disclaimer is that you absolutely don't need to wear every single color in your color palette. If you don't like a certain color, if you're not really drawn to it, that's absolutely fine. But what I did at the very beginning is that I was told that gray is actually one of my really good neutrals. And I had a couple of items in gray. I felt quite okay in them. But there was also a lot of conditioning from other people, especially my mom, saying that gray washes you out, it doesn't suit you. And previously, having been typed as an autumn, again, I had avoided gray like the plague. And so for me, I had to actually battle a lot of misconceptions and ideas and almost change my mindset that gray is actually not about color and to start seeing myself actually looking good in it. And so my advice here, if you want to avoid that mistake, is be okay with not liking certain colors, but also give them maybe a gentle try. If you can borrow an item in that color, or if you find a t-shirt or something in that color in a thrift store, again, you can try that color. And then you're going to have an actually backed up opinion. Do you genuinely not like this color for whatever reason? Or is it simply that you're not used to seeing yourself in it and you hear other people's thoughts and opinions of you in that color versus your actual perception? The second mistake was very expensive, and that was trying to buy items in every single color in my palette. Now, the palette is there for a reason. It's there to help you guide you in picking different colors and combining them together. So you can see there is about 60 different colors in my own limited palette, and it's not even every single color that's going to look good on me. And so if you try to buy clothes in every single color that is represented, you're going to end up like me with a little bit of a chaos, because the color palette is really helpful to get your eyes accustomed to, for example, what a cool purple versus warm purple looks like, or what a cool yellow is versus warm yellow. So it's there to guide you, but it's not actually there to tell you go and buy items in every single color. And so for me, I think I went a little bit crazy and I bought a bit too many clothes that then I had to sell and donate, because I just found that I still have clothes in about 30 different colors. And even though they all went together, overall, I still felt like my wardrobe was a little bit too chaotic. Mistake number 3 is another costly one, and that is trying to change everything all at once. So in my previous video about how my wardrobe has changed, I told you how much money I had actually spent on clothes over the past year. And the problem is that changing your wardrobe all at once is not just expensive, it is also very, very prone to mistakes. Because you might end up buying items just because of the color, you might buy items that you haven't really thought about or you don't really need, but they're just in the right color. And so if you try to change everything all at once, I can guarantee you that probably about 50% of those items will still end up being sold or donated. And so my best tip in here is to just take it slow, one thing at a time, and start getting used to wearing your new colors. The more you do it, the more you know which colors you actually feel amazing in and which colors you can actually just not put into your wardrobe. And mistake number 4 is something that I kind of mentioned in the previous one. Well, I bought quite a few items that weren't really my style or were new styles, new types of items for me, just because they were in my color palette. And so, for example, this navy tank top is an absolutely fine tank top, but it's very, very basic. And so, yes, the color is perfect. It's a 10 out of 10, one of my best colors. But because the style is so plain and it doesn't correspond with my 3 words, which are feminine, edgy, and polished, I really struggle to style this anywhere beyond the gym or sleeping in this tank top. And so, no, it wasn't a bad investment because I still wear it, but I wear it around the house. And so what's the point in having that item when I don't really like it and want to wear it with the rest of my items? I did that with quite a few items, like those very plain linen shirts, which really nice, really good colors on me. And I did wear them quite a bit. But because their design is so plain, I have to accessorize a lot and I have to just try to make them more feminine and more edgy, which is not always easy. Versus if you can see, the top that I'm wearing today is also in one of my best colors, in this sort of medium light blue. But you can see the top itself, it has those pearly buttons, it has the pockets, it has the collar details, a bit more structured, it's a bit more edgy. And so straight away, this item I can wear with the plainest pair of trousers and it would feel a lot more like myself. And so just because the color is right, it doesn't mean that this item is actually gonna serve you. And so you need to know not just what your best colors are, but you need to also know yourself and your style. And if you're not sure what your 3 style words are, by the way, go and watch this video because I'll guide you through the entire process. Mistake number 5 was trying to stick to my color palette a little bit too rigidly. So when I did the color analysis with Color Analysis Studio, they sent me this extended palette and also a business card that I could take with me. And so I had it on my phone all the time, and I would go into stores and compare the colors that I found. And so if the red wasn't exactly the perfect cherry red, I wouldn't buy it. Or if it wasn't the perfect sort of purpley mauve, then again, I wouldn't buy it. And so I was a little bit of a purist, which totally fine if you are as well. But I had to learn that even though a color may not be an exact match for what's in my palette, as long as it combines cool characteristics, first and foremost for me, and is also medium to bright, then it's going to work for me and it's going to work with my closet. And something that really helped me was actually digitizing my wardrobe to have on my phone. I used the app called Index, and again, I have a video that shows you exactly how to catalog your wardrobe. But right now, I actually have a really good picture of what is inside my wardrobe. I also have it sorted by color, and so I can go and see what are the existing colors in my wardrobe. Do I have something in a similar shade? And also I can compare the new item I'm considering buying and seeing whether that one is actually going to go well with the rest of my wardrobe. Mistake number 6 was spending a bit too much money by buying new items instead of secondhand, especially in colors that I wasn't actually sure about. So for me, I did buy quite a few things pre-loved, probably about 2/3 of my wardrobe is secondhand, but I had also bought some items that were new and were, let's say, between 60 and 150 pounds. And so, for example, there was this light yellow dress, which technically is in one of the cool yellows for winter cool. And so it is the right color for me. But at the same time, I'm just not really that much of a fan of this color. And so spending 150 pounds on a dress that I ended up wearing, I think, 3 times was actually a pretty bad investment. And so for any color from now on that I am experimental with, like this light blue color, which I wasn't actually sure whether I would like or not, I always first buy it in a secondhand item, spending maybe between 5 and 20 pounds, because in that way, even if I end up not actually liking it as much, I can pass this item on without feeling like I've spent so much money on it or without feeling guilty about it. And mistake number 7 is a really funny one, is that I actually stopped wearing gold jewelry for pretty much 9 months. And that's a little bit crazy because having been typed as an autumn previously, of course, I had quite a few pairs of gold earrings, I had a gold bracelet, and I had a lot of gold necklaces. And so the moment I realized that I'm not just a winter, I'm a winter cool, which is the coolest of all of them, I decided that from this moment on, I'm just going to wear silver because silver suits my skin so much better and I'm never going to wear gold again. And so for about 8-9 months, I had those gold necklaces hanging in my jewelry collection and not ending up being worn. And it was only when I revisited the notes for this video that I had made a year ago, I noticed the comment that Julia had made, which is that jewelry pieces genuinely don't have that big of an effect on your skin because they're not large items. They don't cast the same light as a scarf, as a top, or as a jacket. And so you can wear gold. Of course, if you have silver and you prefer silver, wear that. But something gold is not going to ruin your whole outfit. And so especially when I was wearing certain colors like more deep shades of green or black, gold jewelry actually looks pretty fine. And so I started wearing gold again. And that has been quite a fun experience because yes, I can see that maybe in silver, this necklace would look even better. But sometimes that little element of tension is actually quite a good thing. And the same sort of thing applied for a bag that I had. So I have this orange bag and I really like it, but it is kind of the antithesis of the winter cool colors because it is very warm. But at the same time, when I create a black gray outfit, which really suits me in terms of my own colors, I think that pop of orange is amazing because it's very contrasting. And it actually helps me to achieve this element of edginess, of something unexpected that is part of my personal style. And so even though you might be typed as something, it doesn't mean that you can never wear an accessory that is in the wrong sort of metals or in the wrong colors. Sometimes this can create a contrast and an element of tension that actually looks really, really good. And so reflecting on those mistakes, I also highlighted 4 things that really have helped me to rebuild my wardrobe and create something that I'm genuinely super happy about. Number 1 is start taking a lot of selfies. So especially if you're changing your color palette from warm to cool or vice versa, or from muted to bright, you're not going to be super used to the colors that you're suggested. And oftentimes, maybe we're in a bad mood, we're half asleep, and we don't like ourselves on that day. But if you take a selfie 2-3 weeks down the line when you're in the normal state, you can look back at that selfie and be a bit more objective that, yeah, this color actually looks quite good on you. And so you start getting more used to seeing yourself in new colors. And your brain actually takes a bit of time to create new neural pathways, to start adjusting itself to seeing you in very different shades from what you were used to before. And so for me, going from those oranges to getting used to seeing myself in blue and gray, that was a huge shift. And let me tell you, at the beginning, I didn't like myself in that blue. I couldn't get used to seeing myself in those colors. And it was only when I looked back at the selfies and realized that I actually looked pretty good on that day. And hey, look at me with 0 makeup and I still look pretty good. It helped me to start connecting and falling in love with my color palette. Second tip I have for you is to take it slow, 1 item at a time, 1 color at a time. Yes, you're going to build your perfect wardrobe, but it's not going to happen instantaneously. And even for me, it's been over a year right now. I have my wardrobe maybe at a 90% perfection, but it's never going to be perfect. And that is okay. You don't need to buy hundreds of new items. Take it 1 step at a time. Number 3, and this was a really hard one for me because there were items that I liked, but they were in colors that I didn't like on myself anymore. And so once I saw myself looking really good in blues and grays and blacks, I stopped liking myself, for example, in that orange. And I felt really guilty because I had spent money finding that item and I didn't just want to go and donate it. And so I sold a lot of things. But at one point, I think I had about 60 or 70 items on my Vinted account. And I felt a little bit guilty that I'm letting go of a lot of my old clothes so I can buy new ones. But genuinely, it is okay to get rid of things that no longer bring you joy. And as long as you're doing that with intention and you're doing so sustainably, which means trying to sell the item first, and if you can't, at least donate it, then you are actually being intentional and a little bit more sustainable. And the final tip is that it is okay to keep a couple of items, even if they are in the wrong colors, if you love them. So on top of my orange bag, which is a bag, it doesn't have any sort of influence on my facial features. I also have this orange top and I just love the fit of this top on me. I like how it contrasts with black. I like the texture on it and how the letters are sort of embossed on it. And so for me, even though orange is genuinely one of my worst colors, I still kept the jumper because I like myself in it. And I'm going to wear it until I stop liking myself in it or until I get bored and want to pass it on. And so even though you may find that maybe there is 10% of your wardrobe that is not in your best colors, if you still love those items, don't throw them away, don't donate them, don't sell them, just keep them and wear them up until you no longer want to. So those are my biggest mistakes, and I hope you found something helpful, especially if you're someone who is interested in having color analysis. If you have any questions about color analysis, please leave them down below because I'm going to be filming a Q&A video and I'm going to answer all of your questions there. I'll see you in the next one.